A Step into the Past Volume 17 Chapter 7. Book 17 Chapter 07 Fixing a Duel Date. After Xiang Xiaolong got seated, he noticed that Lord Chongping and Lord Changwen are seething with anger. First, they are annoyed at Ying Ying's lack of self-respect, and secondly, they were displeased at being passed over by Dan Mimi and Gian. At the end of the day, they are members of Qin royalty. Even if discounting Lord Changping's position as premier, their posts as the commanders of the palace guards are already one of the most prestigious positions in Xianyang City. From this, it shows that Liu Bue is wielding enormous power in Xianyang City. Supported by Zhu Ji and Xiang Xiaolong, Xiao Pan can still counter him in the Qin court, but in terms of influence and regarding matters outside the palace, Liu Bue is the undisputable champion. Among all the 10 odd tables that were occupied, only their table does not have any serving maids. A shaking Chunyua came up to Xiang Xiaolong and gingerly offered, "Shall I get Bailey I and Yang Yu to accompany your table?" Among the top courtesans in the Drunken Wind brothel, Dan Mimi is the best, while the next best three are Gian, Bailey I and Yang Yu. Lord Chongping coldly barked, "Get lost. If Dan Mimi or Gian is not coming tonight, the rest of the girls can forget about coming too." Her face turning deathly pale, Chunyua frantically retreated. Teng Yi icily shot a look at Guanzongzi's table and stated in a deep voice, "Guanzongzi is here with an ulterior motive. He is out to make us look bad." Jing Jun leisurely added, "They have another 20-odd men downstairs who all belong to the arrogant group of men terrorizing the Xianyang commoners. If we can teach them a lesson, everyone will only cheer for us." Xiang Xiaolong simply smiled, "That's easy. Jing Shan and the rest are drinking downstairs too. You can tell them to stir up trouble and it is a piece of cake." Jing Jun was delighted and left to inform them. Suddenly, a high-pitched protest can be heard from Guanzongzi's table and attracted everyone's attention. It was Guanzongzi hugging Ying Ying and trying to feed her wine. Ying Ying knew that Xiang Xiaolong and the others are watching and refused to yield. Lord Chongping knew that Guanzongzi is intentionally provoking them and held back his anger. Lord Changwen was the one who could not hold it any longer. Standing up, he roared, "Sister! You come over here right now." Guanzongzi released Ying Ying and folded his arms with a big grin on his face. Ying Ying stole a look at Xiang Xiaolong before lowering her head, "What is it? Let's talk when we get back home." Lord Chongping is afraid that matters would escalate. Pulling Lord Changwen down to his seat, he sighed, "This is Bulletin 11sh, T." Xiang Xiaolong enjoyed a sip of wine and lazily comforted, "The more we get agitated, the cockier Guanzongzi becomes. Anyway, I already instructed Wu Fu to come and see me within an hour or I will trash him place. That is Guanzongzi's Achilles heel." Hearing this, the two lords' expression became better looking. Returning back to his seat, Jing Jun shot Ying Ying an eye and whispered, "Danner told me before that this precious sister of our two brothers here is actually in a dilemma. She really loves third brother but was afraid of loneliness. Moreover, she loves to play and ran into this Casanova. Coupled with third brother's absence, she became more and more intertwined with Guanzongzi. Look at her eyes if you disbelieve me, there are more pain than joy in them." Lord Chongping angrily swore, "I just had a big fight with her yesterday. Hey! I am going to be a good left premier and do whatever I can to counter Liu Bue. Let's see how he dies in the end." Xiang Xiaolong checked, "Have you transferred Wang Jian back to the capital?" Lord Changwen reported, "It is still being rejected by Liu Bue. Wang He is also supporting this but was suppressed by Liu Bue's Meng Ao and Wang Ci. They said that the Xiongnu are still active and it is better to be safe than sorry." Empress was frightened at hearing this and dare not support Crown Prince, so this issue has been dragging on. Jing Jun groaned, "Huan Yi is worse off. Military spending is controlled by Liu Bue and his budget has been compromised here and there, restricting his work performance. We must quickly solve this problem for him." Xiang Xiaolong laughed, "Have more patience. When the Black Dragon appears, it will be the start of his decline. By then, he will be too busy countering Lao Ai. Lord Chen Guan and Jing Jun do not know anything about the Black Dragon and inquired further. Teng Yi affirmed, "Let's talk about this later." Pointing to his back, he laughed, "Third brother's old friend is here." Everyone looked to where he is pointing. True enough, Wu Fu is here. As he walked over, he greeted and mingled with the other guests as usual without any fear. He seems to be confident with the backing of Guanzongzi. Passing by Lao Ai's table, this fellow displayed even more intimacy, but at Xiang Shaolong's table, he stood a distance away and reported, "After knowing that official Xiang is looking for me, I underwent a miracle recovery. I have let you down as the spear was being stolen at night, and that is the reason for my sickness." Everyone glanced at one another after hearing his words, thinking that this man is outrageously irresponsible. But this must be Lu Bui's and Guanzongzi's idea to not let Xiang Shaolong have the spear no matter what. Without their support, Wu Fu will never display such insolence. Xiang Shaolong plainly replied, "Since the treasure is lost, I have the responsibility to investigate this crime. Brother owner Wu must now come back with me to the command center and provide all the evidence. I will get my cavalry army to get the spear back at all costs." Wu Fu's face lost some color and could foresee his own death at the command center. He hurriedly countered, "I appreciate Commander Xiang's efforts, but I have decided not to pursue this matter. Moreover, it was stolen on the night I presented it to you, and it is more than 6 months ago." Jing Jun barked, "How dare you! The spear belongs to Commander Xiang, and who are you to decide if this matter should be pursued or not? You are obviously trying to make things difficult for us. You must have had a hand in this matter and is now trying to cover your tracks." Lord Chongping coldly interjects, "According to the great laws of Qin, failure to report a crime is punishable by execution. Brothel owner Wu is showing disrespect to our laws and is hiding this crime. This is unforgivable, and death is too light for you." All the color gone from his face, Wu Fu's legs turned to jelly and he kneeled down on the ground, but his eyes were looking at Guanzongzi. Guanzongzi did not expect Xiang Shaolong and company to turn Wu Fu's words against himself. Standing up, he offered, "As the Imperial Infantry Commander, I am in charge of all matters within the city. Will official Xiang please hand this matter to me, and I will give you a satisfactory reply." Everyone in the hall can feel the animosity in the air. All the activities have stopped and everyone is paying attention to the proceedings. The hall is completely silent and the atmosphere is filled with Guanzongzi's domineering voice. Lord Chongping smiled, "Just by looking at the time of the theft, we can deduce that the criminal has something against official Xiang and there must be a spy involved. Moreover, the spear may have been transported out of the city by now. As Premier, I think official Xiang must handle this matter personally. Official Guan need not trouble yourself." Based on Guanzongzi's calm demeanor, his face did not change color at all. He knew that Lord Chongping is the left premier of Qin and is many ranks higher than him. Moreover, he is in charge of the Qin military administration. If Guanzongzi continues to speak out, it is equivalent to insubordination. Because of these factors, Guanzongzi was momentarily speechless. Thinking about his imminent execution, Wu Fu's teeth began to chatter and his entire body was shaking. Ying Ying's position has always been undefined. Now, she finally realized that Lu Bui, Guanzongzi are on extreme opposing ends against Xiang Shaolong, her two brothers and the crown prince. Stuck in the center, she was in an awkward situation and could not help but felt regretful. In this moment, Dan Mimi rose from her seat and came to Wu Fu's side. Kneeling down too, she declared in a shrill voice, "If the charge is not reporting a known crime, then everyone in this brothel is guilty. Premier and Commander Xiang can punish all of us." Dian hurriedly came over and kneeled on the other side of Wu Fu. "Now, it is Lord Chongping and the rest who are in a tight situation. It is hard for them to persecute the entire brothel occupants over a petty theft. Lao Ai is feeling uncomfortable too. After all, Dan Mimi is his woman. If Xiang Xiaolong executed her, he would lose face too. Guanzongzi returned back to his seat and there was a cold smirk hanging at the edge of his mouth. He wanted to see how Xiang Xiaolong is able to clean up the present mess. Still maintaining his leisurely and aloof expression, Xiang Xiaolong simply state, "There is a debtor behind every debt. Wu Fu is the main instigator behind the entire episode. He was the one who gave me the spear and since the spear is lost, he should be the one who informed me. Now, he did not report the loss to me and is being uncooperative now, so we are charging him with being a possible accomplice. I wonder why are the two ladies insisting on shouldering the same blame, is there something more than meets the eye?" Dan Mimi and Guiyan did not expect Xiang Xiaolong to have such a sharp tongue and were dumbfounded. Wu Fu knew that things have gone terribly wrong and he was in an extreme state of anxiety. He stammered, "Please give me some time. I am sure I can retrieve the flying dragon spear." Teng Yi laughed loudly, "In this case, the spear and shield must have been hidden by brothel owner Wu himself. Otherwise, you would not dare to make such a commitment." Wu Fu knew that he has slipped. Knocking his head on the floor repeatedly, he begged, "It is all my fault. It is all my fault." Guanzongzi and his men were filled with hatred, wishing they could tear Wu Fu into pieces. Lao Ai interrupted, "Will official Xiang be forgiving and forget this episode if brothel owner Wu manages to hand over the spear and shield?" Taking this chance to stand down, Xiang Xiaolong agreed, "Since official Lao has spoken, I shall accept this suggestion." Lao Ai gestured and two of his men stood up and lifted Wu Fu away. Dan Mimi and Guiyan finally got a taste of Xiang Xiaolong's prowess. Slowly flashing their eyes at him, they returned back to their seats. Before they managed to sit down, sounds of fighting and cutlery smashing can be heard from the ground floor. Xiang Xiaolong and his friends smiled, knowing that Jing Shan and his men has begun causing trouble. The main hall at the ground floor was in a complete mess as if a hurricane has just passed by. The ground was littered with broken furniture, cutlery, spilled wine, and dishes. Half of the 18 guardians were slightly injured but their enemies are in a pathetic state. All the 23 warriors of Guanzongzi were heavily injured and more than half of them are unconscious. Although there were no fatal injuries among them, everyone suffered from broken bones and fractured joints. This shows that Wu Yanzhu and his fellow guardians have been lenient. Witnessing the Armageddon before his eyes, Guanzongzi bellowed, "What in the world happened?" One of the men who is supposedly the leader of the men stood out. With one hand nursing his bleeding nose, he pointed at Jing Shan and reported, "This kid exchanged a flirtatious look with one of our ladies." "So we?" Guanzongzi roared, "Shut up." Wu Guang shrugged his shoulders at Xiang Xiaolong, declaring, "They are the ones who attacked first. We are only defending ourselves." Guanzongzi knew that Jing Shan and the rest are intentionally out to cause trouble but was powerless to do anything as it was his men who attacked first. Ying Ying slipped away and stood in between her two elder brothers. The two lords treated her as if she was invisible and did not even acknowledge her presence. Guanzongzi commanded his men to carry the injured away and apologized solemnly to Xiang Xiaolong. He coldly invited, "During the hunting festival, we had a duel that ended in a draw. May I know when are you free to exchange pointers again and also decide third mistress's future?" The noisy crowd of onlookers and brothel guests immediately became quiet. Everyone knew that Guanzongzi is really incensed and took this chance to challenge Xiang Xiaolong. Dueling is forbidden among military officers but this matter concerns Liu Niangrong's hand in marriage and there was a precedent so even Xiao Pan cannot interfere with this duel. Xiang Xiaolong smiled, "Official Guan can fix the time and place. Even if you want to duel now, I will be happy to comply." Everyone's attention turned to Guanzongzi. Before Guanzongzi can say a single word, Ying Ying screamed and tore to the front. Standing in between Xiang Xiaolong and Guanzongzi, she protested, "Please do not fight." Everyone was puzzled. In Xianyang City, Ying Ying is known for her fighting skills. Moreover, she loves challenging people to fights and enjoys watching others fight too. Now, Her violent objection makes it hard for everyone to comprehend her motives. Xiang Xiaolong simply shrugged his shoulders. I am not the one pushing for this duel. If Miss Ying wishes to stop this fight, you can speak to official Guan privately. Please forgive me for being unable to help you. Ying Ying looked at him intimately and replied in a grieved voice, when two tigers fight, severe injuries will be inflicted. You can choose not to accept the challenge and no one can force you. You must purposely say these provoking words to anger me. After all the trouble tonight, aren't you very imposing already? Annoyed, Xiang Xiaolong coldly laughed. Is Miss trying to stop the fight because we are not fighting over you? Stomping her foot fiercely once on the floor, with a loud wah, Ying Ying broke out into tears and ran non-stop towards the door. Teng Yi winked at Jing Jun and Jing Jun hurriedly chased after her. Still maintaining his composure, Guan Zongzi casually stated, the 20th of next month is Premier Mentor Lu's birthday. We shall have out duel then and add to the festivities too. Footsteps are sounded and Lao Ai's men returned with Wu Fu carrying the flying dragon spear and shield. Receiving the spear and shield, Xiang Xiaolong laughed loudly. It is settled then. On that day, I shall use this spear to test your formidable skills. The onlookers burst out in wild cheering. Guan Zongzi's face lost some color. Since the last fight, he has already figured out Xiang Xiaolong's sword skills and has been working hard over the past 6 months to counter it. Now, Xiang Xiaolong is using a spear instead of a sword, so all his hard work has just gone down the drain. Xiang Xiaolong was laughing secretly inside. He has more than 1 month to train until the duel date. He is confident of learning Yan Ran's invincible spear skills. Only with this kind of heavy attacking weapon can he successfully counter Guan Zongzi's amazing arm strength. This is called flexibility in warfare. He has depended on strategy to win the last fight, and it will also be strategy that he needs to win this fight. There is no other way out.